He addressed the question of sentiment and how negativity is holding back the U.S. economy.
I really do think that the culture of America has gotten a little bit, not surprised. I don't think it's a permanent thing. I think there are waves that go through. We just came through a very, very crushing moment. But I think the got you mentality. Look, you want to go into public service. One wants to go into public service. You have to take a deep breath and gird yourself to go through the process of getting confirmed. And chances are you won't get confirmed. So you'll expose yourself to a beating, and you may not even get the job you aspire to that people wanted you to have. At the end of the day, someone will fill those jobs, but it may not be the person you want to have fill those jobs. And I could go through sector to sector and say the culture of America has gotten a little bit too negative. Is that a trend, or is that a cycle? Is that a one-direction thing? I think it's a cycle. Right. And I think there have been other periods in our history, in our culture, where it's been like this, and usually connected to economic downturns. Right. And so I'm optimistic, but I will say there's a moment where sentiment is more negative than the facts command.
That's not inconsistent with what we've heard from Lloyd Blankfein before. In fact, for a couple of years, he has been saying there's more potential to the U.S. economy than people realize, and certainly the performance of U.S. stocks has borne that out. But the question that he raises about public service in Washington is also an important one for a firm like Goldman Sachs. Think of the number of Goldman leaders, including Hank Paulson most recently, that have gone down to Washington to serve in government. Not such an easy case for Goldman any longer, for many reasons, perhaps including the ones that we just heard from Blankfein himself. Now, Blankfein was asked a number of other questions by Politico's Ben White, including some about regulatory reform and Dodd-Frank and the degree to which Goldman Sachs and other financial firms are an obstacle to the rule writing and ultimately enforcement of the Dodd-Frank Financial Reform Act. Here's what Lloyd Blankfein had to say about that.
But the fact of the matter is, were there not financial reform, we would be advocating heartily for financial reform. We would accept stress tests and burdens on us in order to get stress tests and burdens put on our counterparties in the market.
Goldman Sachs CEO Lloyd Blankfein speaking at Politico's Morning Money Breakfast in Washington this morning.